A pleasant day to all. We are from Group 6 and the case study we are about to discuss is entitled The Implications of Waste Management and Sanitation Practices on Villagers' Health in San Mariano, Philippines. The researchers of the study are Vinalay Sina V. and Ross Daniel S.G., and this study was published in the year 2014. Now, let me introduce to you what the study is all about. Scholarly studies focus on the importance of proper sanitation in maintaining hygiene and the prevention of various diseases. At present, it is believed that contaminated water and poor sanitation cause an estimated of 80% infections in developing countries. An improvement in the waste management could help improve not just basic sanitation, but also enhancement in health circumstances. The study is situated in Diwakden, Barangay Disulap, located in San Mariano, Isabela, Philippines. Diwakden is a home to 5 ethnic groups, mainly the Ifugano, Ibanag, Agta, Kalinga, and Ilocano. A total estimate of 25 households, which includes an estimate of 100 inhabitants, are included in this paper. Most of them depend on the river and water pump for daily water usage. The study aimed to provide an insight in sanitation and waste management in the said location. It also analyzes the hygiene knowledge and health situations of individual homes belonging to one of Diwakden's 5 ethnic groups. Moreover, the study seeks to demonstrate changes in waste management options for the local inhabitants to benefit. In order to find out the impact of sanitation and waste management techniques on the health of Diwakden residents, the study aims to answer the following questions. First, what are the common waste disposal practices of households in Diwakden? Second, what are the common sanitation practices of households in Diwakden? Third, what is the status of general knowledge on hygiene of the inhabitants of Diwakden? And lastly, in how far do the several ethnical groups in Diwakden assimilate with regards to their sanitation and waste management practices?
Now, let's proceed to methodology. Field observation methods and descriptive interviewing are utilized for the study's main methodology. By designating at least one head of each household as a target informant, the researchers aim to reach a total of 20 respondents or more. The researchers collected a total of 22 responses from 20 residents over the course of 4 days. The questionnaire was designed to include both open-ended and closed-ended questions. The condition of the nearby living environments was the focus of the field observation. The quantity of trash, the techniques used to dispose of it, the location of the facilities where the toilets and shower were located, the state of facilities, etc., were all used as indicators. One Dutch and one Filipino individual make up the research team. The data collected are mainly qualitative in nature.
So let us now move on to the results and discussion of this case study. So as for the first result, which is the common waste disposal practices. From the field observations, it is found that 2 types of toilet facilities were present in Diwakden, which is a water-sealed toilet bowl and the pit boom. A few households had neither of these installed yet, and most often used the pit boom of fellow neighbors. For the second results, which is the common sanitation practices. On CTO meetings, the community discussed practical daily life topics such as livestock management, CR making, waste management, separate pit making for plastic, and one of them including the Ordinance on Waste Separation, which is the Ordinance number 99-039. However, only a very small part of the community says that they separate and recycle a part of their waste, which can be seen in Table 1. In fact, only burning as a waste management method is recognizable as a common practice by all the households, which can be seen in this table. Let us now move on to the third result, hygiene knowledge. So in general, most of the respondents showed a solid basic knowledge of general hygiene. Of the total 20 respondents, 17 respondents were able to give several examples of hygiene practices, precaution methods in order to prevent the spreading of sickness, and example of ways to ensure the food and drinking water is safe. As for their last result, which is the number of ethnic groups in possession of open pits and waste management method. So table number 1, which is the division of respondents in Diwakden per ethnical group, showing the number of households in possession of an open pit. The number between brackets shows how many inhabitants belong to that ethnical group, and it is evident here that the lack of access to waste disposal facilities is dominant. So as for the table number 2, which is the division of respondents in Diwakden per ethnical group, showing the number of households in possession of which types of sanitary facility. So in here, it is also seen that most of the inhabitants lack the access to sanitary facilities as shown in the table. And now lastly, from all that, it is evident that the inhabitants of the village lack access to the infrastructure where the people can start and manage the flow of waste in the community. It is crucial to implicate the issues regarding this matter so that issues like these would come to light and be resolved. So that is all for the results and discussions. Let us now call for the next presenter.
As per the conclusion, we could extract 5 points out from the discussed results and its discussion. Number 1, the lack of basic sanitation facilities and formal waste management facilities has had negative impacts on almost every household in Diwakden. Number 2, although access to basic sanitation was not available for a large group in Diwakden, the existing waste management practices still provide a way of protection from becoming sick through disease carriers such as flies, mosquitoes, cockroaches, and rats. Number 3, the knowledge of basic hygiene practice was generally high. Number 4, the installment of a CR for every household in Diwakden might generate positive effects for the community of Diwakden. And number 5, since the inhabitants belonging to the Agta tribe do not count as a permanent settler, they are excluded from the CR installment, sadly. However, this group seems to be affected most by the lack of sanitation facilities and waste disposal practices, and the lack of safe drinking water. Next up, Ms. Eve Legaspi will discuss our proposed recommendation.
Thank you, Ms. Pantaleon. Now we will proceed to the last part of the study, the recommendation. The researchers Vinale and Ross 2014 proposed the following as solution to the stated problems. Number 1, the disposal of batteries and other chemical waste in the Diwakden Creek has made the water unsafe for drinking purposes for multiple times. Formal waste management and collection would be helpful in preventing sickness and environmental damage. Number 2, the installment of CR for every household should be accompanied by the instruction and an introduction, as many households are used to using an open pit. The health benefits of installment of CR can only work if households use the new facilities in the right way. Number 3, a solution should be found for families that are not permanent settlers but that stay in sitio for longer than a year. Their current circumstances are below basic living conditions and their general knowledge on hygiene is low. They do not make use of the water pit but largely depend on the creek for their daily water usage. Well, these solutions are good but not specified. For example, what formal waste management they are referring to? What systematic process do they suggest as an action plan for this? Or what restrictions and regulations do they propose to implement? to prevent this disposal of chemical waste in the said creek. Of course, we cannot just say or command to the people in the community to stop doing that. They must be informed about its risks to fully understand the situation, which will result to a lessened probability of illegal waste disposal. Right? So, furthermore, the local authorities must teach them that hazardous waste must be placed in a yellow trash bags or any trash bag with labels as instructed by the DENR and collect them properly. So, for number two, this solution is correct and applicable. However, it's not just about providing CR to each household but also providing a good quality of entire sanitary system. Aside from the collaboration of local authorities and the health department, a sanitary engineer and master plumber must be consulted and hired, as well for its proper planning. In fact, some rural areas have toilets but are always clogged. This is still prone to diseases, huh? So, without proper sanitation, there is a higher risk of infections. As stated by the World Health Organization 2022, poor sanitation is associated with the spread of typhoid, cholera, dysentery, intestinal worm infections, polio, etc. It worsens stunting. Antimicrobial resistance spreads as a result. Lastly, for those group of people that do not settle permanently in such places, public toilet and bath, if possible, must be provided. This is to prevent them from using pit boom, which is known to have negative effects on their environment and to themselves. Well, these solutions may be costly at first, but are actually economical in the long run because it prevents various detrimental effects in several aspects. It will also promote proper hygiene and better productivity at work, school, and other routines. Indeed, a healthy lifestyle for each individual may result in a better economy and environment. Proper sanitation and proper waste disposal are essential in our daily lives. So that's all. And lastly, for those group of people that do not settle, thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something today. Maraming salamat.